Hey, what's up, everybody? So we're back here with some more Star Wars Commander, and yesterday I encountered a glitch or a rollback of some sort. So I did advance the story mission, the campaign mission, past Chapter 5 into Chapter 6. This morning when I logged back in, the upgrades that I did, I upgraded my barracks to level 4, and I completed the story mission, the campaign here, to level 6. Those were all rolled back. So I don't know if everyone else saw a rollback or what, or if it's just my game that just didn't save the data. But there again is more glitches in this game right now. Currently, not not really finished and polished as you may want. So we'll go ahead and finish up this story mode again. Get some free loot. We also have some interesting tips on upgrading your units. We've been looking more into the strengths and weaknesses of the units and what is really, worthwhile to upgrade and what just plain out sucks. So worthwhile units, these tanks, they go and specifically target defenses. So those are critical for upgrading. They have tons and tons of life as well. So you can see I have 3, and I really don't need anything else. The Stormtroopers just do cleanup and take care of the buildings because you do need some DPS, some damage per second. To take out these structures, and you'll notice we're going to get a lot of loot for this base. We're going to get 10,000 gold and 1,000 ore, and then plus the 3,500 bonus that we're going to get. We're not going to deploy all our troops because we don't want to waste the Stormtroopers. Every troop that we deploy costs us gold to use. Granted, we are gaining 10,000 gold. We still want to be conservative and not waste troops so we can make more gold profits. The more troops we use, the more gold we spend per battle, meaning the less gold that we actually earn. And you can see here we were able to take down the base with just a few Stormtroopers deployed. Thanks to the tanks. The tanks demolish everything. That base right there was a very, very easy base to go through. So the best part about the game is the story mode and the campaign mode here. The little story mode that they made is pretty in-depth, pretty thorough. It's definitely fun to read through and to go through. A lot of tutorial type things in there. We can continue on and try and get 42 stars out of 42, and then that way we would unlock some free gems. Or we can go on to the next chapter. We'll go ahead and move on to the next chapter. So these are like the tutorial type setups here. It's saying, you need more alloy refineries and you need to bring them up to level 3. But then we also started going into actually attacking Jawas. And then we also, got attacked by Jabba the Hutt again. So a lot of cool things are happening in the story mode. And then the little rocks over here, the small junk, and the small rock, those things do regenerate. They regenerate slower than in Clash of Clans. The larger junk, again, will also regenerate, it appears. So once you have some extra gold, you're going to want to go ahead and clear those off because you can get some free gems out of that. Not sure exactly what the regeneration rate is. So we are going to have to train our troops up, and you always want to have troops pre-trained for the next battle. So we go ahead and build a whole bunch of Stormtroopers in there. You can see this one we have a Scout Trooper, which unfortunately looks to be a really crappy unit. This is going to be comparative to like the Goblin in Clash of Clans. but there doesn't seem to be any damage multiplier for the loot because it goes after resources, but it doesn't seem to do a lot of damage at all unless there's a hidden loot multiplier somewhere or hidden damage multiplier. It's only going to do 100 damage per second, 800 health, movement speed of 3. And if you look at the Stormtrooper actually has better stats except for the movement speed. It does 139 damage per second. It has almost twice as much HP, and the movement speed is a little bit less. So you can see that the Scout Trooper is pretty bad. You're never going to use him unless they actually do some hidden damage to those loot collectors, and that's something I'll have to test out. But currently the Scout Trooper is a horrible unit. You're never going to want to use him. The unit that you are going to want to use and want to get to as soon as possible is this one right here, the level 4 barracks. This unit is extremely good. It's 566 points of damage per second. It has 5100 HP, a movement speed of 3, so it's a Stormtrooper on a dewback mount, and it costs 3 units to create. So comparatively speaking to the Stormtrooper, that guy wins out hands down. So it has more HP. You can see it costs 3 unit types, so you're going to multiply all this by 3. So the Stormtrooper would technically do about 400 damage per second, a little bit over. It has about 5,000 life. No, about 4,000 life. So about 4,000, or about 400 damage per second, 4,000 life, and a movement speed of 2. Whereas the other unit has 550 or so damage per second. It has 5,000 plus life, and it also has a movement speed of 3. But where the big shining difference is the training costs. The Stormtrooper costs 90 to create, so to create 3 of them, it costs 270 gold. Whereas one of these is 150, so it's a big savings on gold there. So once you unlock these guys, you're going to want to get your barracks up to level 4 as soon as possible so you can start pounding out these guys and using them in your raids. It's going to be more cost efficient, and they are just stronger than the Stormtroopers. And those guys are at level 1 too, so once you upgrade them, they are going to become a lot stronger. The other unit that is fairly good are these guys right here, the Phased Dark Trooper. They do die really quickly to the mortars, so if you see a lot of mortars in an opponent's base, you're going to want to use more vehicles. And your vehicles are over here. And again, you're going to want to get your construction yard up to level 3. Your factory to level 3, excuse me. Because that's when you unlock these tanks, these 2M hover tanks. And these guys are extremely powerful. They have tons and tons of life. And the best thing is that they go after turrets specifically. So you want to take out the defenses right away. If the defenses are down, then everything else can just run in and wreck things without having to take damage. So you can see the next thing that we're going to upgrade is we're going to upgrade one of the barracks and get that to level 4 so we can get that new unit that is extremely powerful and will help us actually raid more loot. So it's going to take 12 hours to upgrade. Then the other thing that you want to upgrade is you want to upgrade your hero. This guy right here is a beast. It costs 1 unit capacity. It has 19,000 health, and it does 3,600 damage per second. The only downside is that it only attacks the closest unit to it, so it's not very smart, so it's not going to go after the turrets. It's going to take a lot of damage, but it's a great tanking unit and will do tons of damage. So we have finished all our training, so we're going to upgrade this guy right here, because once you're upgrading it, you can't actually use it to build units. So that's why we waited a little bit. And this over here is the research lab. You'll notice that we are upgrading our hero unit again. So we'll go ahead and do a player versus player matchup and see what we can find. And we'll run down with the numbers too, because we're still noticing that it's very hard to actually earn gold from player fought bases. So looking at the numbers here, these Stormtroopers are costing 90 gold per, so that's almost 4,000 gold just for these guys. The tank is about 1,000 gold, and then the hero is 1,400 gold. So if we were to deploy all our units, we would be spending around 6,500 gold to take this base on, and they only have 4,500 gold and 8,600 alloys, so it's definitely not worth it. Now we're spending 200 gold to actually go to the next battle, and we may not even like this battle either. So we're going to try and find something that has a whole heck of a lot of gold. See, this base has no gold whatsoever. We can't make a profit here. There's no real reason to actually raid that base. Again, another base that we can't make a profit. So every time we click next, we're losing 200 gold. So far we've already spent 600 gold looking for bases, and this gold is adding up really quickly. Now we're at 800 gold. And again, here's a really crappy base that's not giving us any loot. So we can drop one tank and maybe one Stormtrooper and take out the whole base, and maybe we'll break even. If we drop down the hero, we'll end up losing some gold. We can get some free alloy out of this, but I mean, that's the choice that you take. Every battle we click next on is costing us 200 gold. So we'll go ahead and take this one out since it's very simple. We should be able to take it out with probably just one tank. We'll drop a Stormtrooper because we are going to have to do a little bit of DPS. And you can see the tank's AI is very, very interesting. It's going through all the walls there. And surprisingly, it's actually taking out the headquarters rather than taking out that turret over there. I guess because the headquarters is kind of in the way of the turret. So once again, it is extremely hard to actually farm gold in this game with player versus player content, which it shouldn't be like that. You should be able to actually make money almost always raiding. It shouldn't be this endless struggle of trying to search for bases and wasting your money clicking next. It's a bad design right there. And then because once you finish all of the story mode missions, you're going to run out of places to actually earn gold. And so then you're going to be in a dead stop, and you're not going to be able to do anything unless you actually use gems to buy gold or to, you know, upgrade buildings. So you can see we were able to take down the whole base with one tank and one Stormtrooper. We made some alloy. We pretty much broke even on the gold front, and we got some of those metals. Currently, it doesn't appear there's anything worthwhile with the metals. The metals don't do anything. It's just a fake leaderboard type system. So again, our units are all done, ready to fight again. So we'll go ahead and look for another match. Maybe we can have better luck this time. Again, if we deploy all the units, if we still have a tank again, so we actually don't have a tank. So now our units are extremely weak. This setup is horrible. 50 Stormtroopers, they're just targeting the closest unit. They die extremely quick to the mortar, so that's horrible. The hero is only going to attack the closest unit, so again, it's not going to be very good against a base that has several defensive structures. You can see he's got turrets all over the place. This is a very well designed base, and it doesn't even have that much money in it. It has 2,900 gold. So again, if we were to deploy even just all our Stormtroopers, we would spend almost 5,000 gold. So this base is very bad, very basic base. If we had a tank again, we could go through it and take out building. We're just going to use the hero, and we'll show off the hero's power here. The hero should be able to take out the entire base just by itself. The hero does cost like 1,400 gold right now, so we are going to lose some gold in this raid. So we are going to lose up 300 gold plus the 200 that it took to next to find this base. Yeah, you can just see how powerful this hero unit is. Just taking everything down. Nothing stands a chance. So we ended up making 1,690 in alloy and got 6 metals. We lost a little bit of gold. See, now we have to go make sure that we actually train another one of those units. Okay, so it's standing by, so it looks like it's already pre-trained. We'll go take a look at our unit transport to see what we actually have. So we have 50 Stormtroopers again. And then in our squad center over here, which is like your clan castle, we have a big nice walker and then 2 Stormtroopers. So that comes to this point, the ATST walker isn't that good because it only attacks the closest unit, and it does take 10 units to put in your army. So it's a little dumb AI wise. It won't attack a turret, it won't go after specific targets, it's just attacking whatever's closest, and it's just a big metal unit. And especially the rockets, when you start seeing opponents having these guys, the rocket turrets, these things do a lot of damage to the metal units. So since we don't have a very good army, we're going to go ahead and try and do some of the story mode missions since they're typically a lot easier. And so this one he wants us to actually upgrade our research center. We already done that, so we're going to get the reward right here. And you can see your little partner here is questioning our alliance with the Emperor person. So the story mode is definitely very, very interactive and cool. Well done on that. Everything else needs some work. So this is the first time I believe that you actually do attack the Jawas. And so you're kind of being a big bully here. I don't know if we'll actually be able to do it on this setup because we only have 50 Stormtroopers. The Stormtroopers are pretty damn weak to these turrets, to the mortars, and he has 4 mortars over here. Typically you're going to want to take out those 2 buildings right there with your aerial ship. And then what I did last time was I dropped a tank. I dropped a tank over there. And you can see the Stormtroopers are just going down. Even trying to scatter them, they are dying fairly quickly. So again here we're going to lose some gold because he was only giving us 2,000 in loot if we conquer his entire base. And all the Stormtroopers that we drop down, they each cost 90 gold to produce, to make, and use. So we'll end up losing probably 3,000 in gold for this attack. Thankfully that we're actually going to get the loot bonus, so we're going to get 3,500 for defeating the campaign mode here. Then we are going to have to drop some more down so we can take out the turret over here. So we're just going to go ahead and drop everything down, make sure that we get the win. Because I believe currently there's no way to actually delete units from your unit transport. So we had to kind of get rid of those guys so we could actually get some of our tanks back. Because we don't want 50 Stormtroopers to go in to fight a player-made base. 50 Stormtroopers against a player-made base isn't going to cut it. So now we can check out our unit transport. We have 2 tanks already made. We have 1 Stormtrooper. And our hero is ready. It's just you can't use your hero in a battle in the story mode. So the heroes are only for player versus player maps. So we can go in and check the next story mission. And the next one is where we actually were last night before the game rolled back. And this one wants us to have 12 level 3 walls. So we've completed that one. We've got the loot for that as well. In the next story mission, it looks like they're going to show us about the hero unit. This is your first challenge mission. You only have access to the units provided and cannot bring units of your own. Use what's provided to achieve total victory. Very cool. So I'll actually cut here and make a specific video just on this because this seems to be really, really cool. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this last video. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. And thanks for watching.